This video will show you how to install a dash cap on a Dodge Ram 1500. This will be located along the top of your interior dash. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. To replace the dash cover, we're going to start by dislodging this outer molding here. Now keep in mind, this is only plastic, and this is an older vehicle. As you start removing it, you want to be extremely careful that it doesn't crack and break. This one actually does have a couple cracks, so I'm going to have to be extra careful along the way. To dislodge this, you can use several different types of tools. I'm going to be using a plastic trim tool. This is going to have several locking tabs making their way across. We just want to start popping this free. We don't have to fully remove it, just dislodge it along the side and along the top. The next thing we're going to do is clean along the top of the dash so we can complete a dry fit. We want to have a clean surface so we don't get any miscellaneous debris on our brand new part. I'll use some cleaner directly on a rag here. Wipe it down as necessary. We're cleaning all mounting areas. And of course, we're going to pay special attention to all cracks, which is of course the reason why we're installing this panel in the first place. Once you have that area cleaned, continue on with a dry fit of your brand new upper dash cover. Once you've confirmed that everything does align as it should, we can remove this and we'll continue on with our sealant. Let's get this off of here. Now it's time to prepare our sealant. As far as the sealant is concerned, you want to make sure it's at least room temperature. It wants to be warm. It's going to spread easiest that way. Also, you're going to find that you have to open it. You're going to install your adapter and then trim the tip so you have a small opening. Now here's where we're going to be looking at the dash itself. I'm pointing along the outside of the windshield, but you can see where my cracks are. Of course, your cracks may be in completely different areas. We're applying our sealant along each one of the cracks. This is going to help the brand new cover sit along the top here and make sure that there isn't any rattling noises while you're driving down the road. Now a thin amount should do. We can spread this out with a gloved finger as necessary. Anything that you do happen to get on your skin or in an area that you do not want it on, you can use some water on a clean rag to clean it off as necessary. There we are, just a thin amount should do. Do the same for all cracks on your particular dashboard. Now we're continuing on with the sealant along the bottom of the dash panel. Now as far as this is concerned, you want to make sure you have it cleaned first. We're going to be using this sealant, making our way along the entire outside of the dash panel first. As we make our way along this, we don't want to be just along the outer edge. You want to be in approximately 1/4 inch. When you press the panel down, it could squeeze that sealant and we don't want it to squeeze out and potentially get on something we don't want it. Now, not just the outer edges, we also need to focus along each one of the ports where the vents are supposed to be. Pretty much any area that has an edge needs to have sealant. So we have the outer edge, the inner edges along these areas where the vents are, but then you also have this area, which is a small bump in. If you were looking at it on the dash, it's on the passenger side. We want to have some sealant here so we can press that onto the original dash panel and hold it there so it doesn't vibrate around. Now I've got my sealant. I'll start making my bead. Up along this edge. Let's get around this port. Now that I've used a little bit of this sealant, I can actually use a tool to help spread this out a little easier. Around that. We're continuing on. I'm doing that area that slides down on the passenger side. Now that we have all of our sealant along the outer edges and along each one of our ports, if you have any sealant left, we're going to use some along the center of the dash pad, holding it down so it's not vibrating on us while we're driving down the road. Okay. Pretty much all of it. Once you feel as though you have your sealant on there as needed, let's prepare to install that on the vehicle. Now we're installing the dash pad onto our original dash. This can be easiest with a second person. We're being extremely careful. We have sealant all over this. You're going to flex it in towards the center, pressing in along each side as you bring it into position. The passenger side is where you need to pay the most attention. This is where you're going to have your airbag. You can't have this pad over the airbag. Press it in until it's completely seated. Now I'm putting some sandbags up along the top of here. I want something soft enough not to cause any damage, but heavy enough to hold this down on my dash. While I have pressure on here, I'm waiting for this to dry, but let's continue on with our dash molding. As far as the dash molding, align it and press it forward. Double check to make sure it's seated all the way around. Once you've let the adhesive fully dry, remove anything from along the top of the dash. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.